Hello students, welcome back to KapMan Academy. Today we are going to talk about another part of the inflammation, which is the generation of inflammatory signs. Right? So as we already know, during the inflammatory response, different type of chemical mediators are actually being released, and these mediators lead to the increased acidity in the surrounding tissue, right? And this increased acidity, it actually activates the extracellular extracellular enzyme known by the name kallikrein, right? You can see here the kallikrein here, it is present in the tissue fluid. So it gets activated and then it actually cleaved into a peptide which is known as bradykinin. So kallikrein here, it cleaved into a peptide which is called bradykinin, right? So bradykinin, it binds to the bradykinin function here. It binds to the blood capillary wall, right? As you can see here, it binds to the receptors present in the blood capillary cells, endothelial cells, and allows the opening of the cell junctions. It allows the opening of cell junctions in the nearby blood capillary. So this opening actually, it leads to the leakage of the fluid into the tissue fluid area, right? With the leukocytes and neutrophils. At the same time, the bradykinin, it also binds to the mast cell. So this is another function of the bradykinin. First, it actually allows the opening of the cell junction, and then it also binds to the mast cells where it actually releases the histamines, and these histamines, they actually binds to the endothelial cells and here causes the influx of calcium ions, right? If in case during the tissue injury, the nerves which are present in that area are damaged, then they also release a particular type of substance which is called P substance. And this P substance actually, it binds to the mast cells and then again release the more histamines, which again allow the influx of the calcium ions. So all these events, the leakage of the tissue into the extracellular fluid, right, they causes the sign, cardinal sign of the inflammation, which is called swelling. So this is how the swelling occurs. Bradykinin, then it binds to the nearby capillary cell. Then it binds to the nearby capillary cell, causing the, here, bradykinin, it also binds to the nearby capillary cells to stimulate. It enhances the production of prostaglandins. Prostaglandins, where it actually release the prostaglandin PGE2 and PGF2 alpha, right? And they also promotes the swelling around the damaged area, right? So they are also responsible for the tissue swelling. Prostaglandins also binds to the free nerve endings. So PGF which are being released or produced, they also actually binds to the nerve endings, so which are nearby there, where they actually causes the fire and pain impulse. So damaged tissue, it feels like that it was on fire and also causes the pain impulse in the damaged tissue, right? Mast cells also releases a small molecule with the histamines, which is known as by the name arachidonic acid. Arachidonic acid. And arachidonic acid, it is actually metabolized by the mast cells and it produces certain type of mediators such as your E2, E2 alpha, thromboxane, A2, slow reacting substances, which are known as SRS, and leukotrienes. Right? And they all actually play a very important role in the inflammatory response. Right? So if we see during the acute inflammation, series of events actually happens which actually neutralize the pathogen which enters through the passage. Right? So these events could be number one, the area which is damaged. In that case, the blood flow is increased. In that particular area, blood flow is increased, right? And it causes the capillary dilation, right? Which brings the more antimicrobial factor, leukocytes, which destroy the pathogen and causes the release of or factors, right? Another event which occurs during the inflammation is the blood leakage into the tissue spaces, and this leakage actually it enhances the temperature, stimulate the inflammatory response, and also inhibit the growth of microbes, inhibits the growth of microbes, right? Another event which occurs in the damaged tissue is that there is a fibrin clot is formed. Fibrin clot is formed. And this clot is actually inhibit the spread of infection. It inhibits the spread of infection. Right? So another event which occurs, phagocytes, they collect in the inflamed area and phagocytose the pathogen. So the neutrophils and the leukocytes, they actually collect the inflamed area, they get collected in the inflamed area, and there they causes the phagocytosis and then also release certain type of chemicals so that more leukocytes can be formed from bone marrow. Right? So this is the events which occurs during the inflammatory response. We already know the process, what happens during the inflammatory response. Now we know how the inflammatory signs are being produced during the reaction. So that's all for the today. Thank you.